This is the 216th episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the last week of May 2015. This episode is titled Summer 15 Release Notes. CloudFocus Weekly is brought to you by Clone This User. Clone an existing Salesforce user with a click of a button by the desktop, or in Salesforce One Mobile. Available for free on the App Exchange, or go to www.clonethisuser.com. Hashtag Vanity Earl. I'm your host, Jason Abbott, and joining me, co-host 216 times in a row, fully ready to apologize for his mistakes that he's made in life, Justin Nelson.
What am I apologizing for again?
Well, we said we'd be back next week, and that was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. But in the meantime, you and I have run a marathon.
There's that.
And we're actually wearing the exact same shirt today.
Oh, that is so cool. I should know not to wear these when I'm going to see you because you only wear these.
But we're wearing the actual real ones. I mean,
yeah.
So what we're talking about is we have Arkus shirts on. We have Arkus polos. We get Arkus polos every year for Dreamforce. But every year we get like a different brand. This last year we did like the Nike, what is this called? Dry Fit. So
yeah, they're like really nice. I love this material.
Yeah, I like it for a day like today, like 82 degrees. This is the material.
But in the winter, I don't fan of this.
So we're actually not wearing. So we got 2 colors last year. 2, 3.
Yeah.
Of this.
Yes. Black, blue, and this blue.
Oh, another blue and this blue?
Yeah, like the royal blue, kind of.
Okay. So, yeah, I wear the black and this blue a lot. Anyway. We have something to add to the agenda.
What's that?
Well, for our agenda, we're doing...
No one can really see the agenda, so you didn't really have to say that.
Oh.
It's not like we published the agenda or anything.
Well, we should. So we're going to talk about Summer 15. We have 3 blog posts, 2 which are up. So we're going to talk about the 2 that are up and the one that's going to go up either today or tomorrow.
Right.
We can do a little 5-second Summer MVP Summit recap. I don't really know how much we can talk about.
I think we just say that there was an MVP Summit.
Well, maybe we'll just...
And we went to it.
We'll just give a little bit more detail. And then, but the first I want to start off with, our offer was rejected.
Our offer was rejected.
To buy Salesforce.
Yeah, they didn't want us.
We showed up with pennies, and they didn't want that. So the rumors now are coming. I mean, obviously nothing has happened, but the rumors are all saying that it was Microsoft, and that there was a difference in valuation of about $15 billion.
That's it? That's a rounding error.
Well, Salesforce thought they were more of a 55 burger, and Microsoft thought they were more of a 40 burger. So, it's off by a little bit.
Just a little.
So, and then since earnings have come out and all that, it's looking less and less like they want to be bought. And for all that, I say, phew, because I've already had some clients ask me, so what about them being bought by Microsoft? I'm like, oh, if they actually were bought, imagine how many bad conversations we're going to have.
A lot of them.
So anyway, they weren't bought. So I'm actually going to switch up the order here. Let's do or do not talk about the MVP Summit, and then we'll get to Summer 15. So I'm going to do a little recap for everybody who's new to the podcast, because you are maybe possibly new. Salesforce runs a program called the MVP program, run by some really awesome people. And what they do is they identify people in the community, external to Salesforce, so not employees, who are sort of their ambassadors, let's say, who help spread the good word or fight the good fight, or are in the success community or on Twitter or in Quora, but sort of are outwardly doing good things and speaking about Salesforce, again, like an ambassador. And they've been doing this for years. I think are you 5 years, or is that next year? No, it must be
Spring 11.
Okay, so next year it'll be 5 years.
No, Spring 11, Spring 12, Spring 13, Spring 14, Spring 15.
Okay, so you are 5 years. So they started in Spring 10.
They started in Winter 11.
Winter 11. Okay.
Which comes before Spring 11.
Yes. What about Fall? Did they do Fall?
Don't think so.
They don't do
They
fall.
may have. I don't know.
And they've been electing people, and so it's gone from a group of 10 to a group of, I think, 160 something now.
A lot.
And
Too many.
we sign a lot of nice. Now you just get kicked out.
Angry tweets are coming my way.
We signed a lot of NDAs, but once a year for the last 3 years, they've held a summit. We're allowed to say that because they post it.
They do.
And where they invite MVPs out to San Francisco to what I would basically say is like a small, very personal Dreamforce.
Yeah, that's a good way to.
Right, it's like it's a Dreamforce for 130 people. They bring in product managers, they bring in Salesforce people, they talk about stuff that we can't talk about. They give us visibility. We get it's really neat little event held in a hotel. Had a great time. You and I, that's all I'm going to say about it. You and I had to leave early from the event because we were running a half marathon the next day back in New York, and we felt it pretty stupid to try to, do the red eye and then run 13 miles. So we
I don't know. I don't know if that would have worked for me.
No, it wouldn't have worked for you.
No,
it wouldn't have. But anyway, so that's why. But we had a great time. It's the third year they've done it. We've gone all three. Thank you to everybody who throws it. Thank you to Salesforce. Thank you to Parker, who I think is one of the sort of puts his money where his mouth is behind it. It is a great event, and reason enough to be an MVP. All right, so let's talk about Summer 15.
All right,
which is on its way. We have not one, not two, but
two.
sort of three.
Let's go with two.
By the time this day ends, I expect to have the third one published.
Do you? Well, it's not published.
Well, it might be by the end of this day. It'll probably be by tomorrow. And if you listen to this on Friday, there might be on Friday.
Oh, so I've got to have that one open too. It's not published,
yes.
So I don't have it actually.
Well, you're gonna have to go find it.
Great.
So we have 3 blog posts: the rapid reaction, which is yours. Then we have Salesforce 15 for sales by the person who shall not be named, although his name and picture are right at the top. It's pretty easy to figure out who it is, but that's fine. We're not going to talk about him. And then we have Summer 15 for service.
Right.
In fact, who's up next? Can't be me.
No, it's not you.
Anyway, so then we're doing another one. There's like 5. This is a 5-part series.
There's 2 more, I think.
2 more. All right.
Ideas released.
Okay, good one.
And a developer one.
Developer. Oh, killing off my...
We're going to do a developer one.
You're
killing off of your what?
My community banks, my banking one, Summer 15 for banking.
Yeah.
The Vlogmaster is getting rough. So let's talk about the first one first, which is the Salesforce Summer 15 rapid release.
Oh, that's mine.
Notes, rapid reaction.
I wrote that one.
So why don't we, it's all on blog.arkusinc.com, but why don't we pick a few? Why don't we just go through this? We'll pick a few from this one. We'll pick a few from 1 or 2 from each one of these, and we'll discuss it. And then maybe we can throw in some other ones, although we have other ones, I guess, coming up in the next week.
Sure.
So pick one.
How about the first one?
This is...
a long time coming.
A long time coming. I wish I felt like... Why don't we say what it is?
Data loader for Mac.
I feel like... So there is a data loader for the Mac. It's called Lexi Loader.
Yeah.
You've been in the pilot of this.
I have.
So here's what I know. I'm going to ask you the question, and then I'm going to get the answer that I don't want. What's new and exciting about data loader for Mac?
It works on a Mac.
Yeah, that's nothing. The Lexi Loader did that. What does it do that Lexi Loader didn't do?
It works on a Mac, and it's supported by Salesforce.
Oh, it's supported.
Right.
Yeah. I wish they'd just done... did they call it data loader?
Apex Data Loader.
Okay, that's good. So at least when I search, I forget Lexi Loader. I'm like, what was that thing called again? Because it just doesn't...
It works exactly like the data loader does, which is exactly like Lexi Loader does.
But it is Lexi Loader.
It's data loader.
Well, it's a rebrand of Lexi Loader.
It
looks exactly the same.
I don't think it is.
Really?
Really. I think they wrote this from the ground up. As a matter of fact, I think they had to tweak. I don't know why they would have had to, but I think they tweaked an API or 2. At least there was on one of the Summer 15 developer webinars, one of the things they were going to talk about was the data loader for Mac and what they had to do to make that work. So I don't think they just took Lexi Loader and rebranded it.
I think they did.
I know they did.
Well, they took it and then maybe... But I can't imagine they went and rebuilt this from scratch.
I don't know why you wouldn't imagine that, but okay.
Because LexiLoader's developed by a guy who works for Salesforce.
Well, guess what?
Take code.
Data Loader for Mac, now available. Download it from within Salesforce.
That's a cool bit. So you don't have to say, go find whatever crazy website it was on. Soapbox
Pocket
or
or something. Pocket
soap. It felt like you were outside the community when you're like, oh.
Well, the thing about LexiLoader is that it stopped being dependable. Like, I still have a really old version of it because it works, but newer versions of it are not quite so dependable.
I've never ran into that.
Yeah, I had a situation earlier where someone was trying to use LexiLoader and they couldn't log in with LexiLoader 30. It wouldn't let them log into the org. And I go back to mine and I'm on LexiLoader 25.
It's funny, I use LexiLoader 30.
It was like, boom, I can log in. Why can't you log in? Try downloading an older version. She downloads an older version and she was able to log in.
Oh, that's
so
weird.
It was weird. So it's nice to have just a supported thing. If something is not working, you can put in a case and get an answer 3 days later, but whatever.
Right.
It's nice to have a supported data loading tool, even though there are tons out there that are far superior at this point.
Yeah, but
just
some companies only can use things that are supported by Salesforce. That's one of the reasons. Like, they won't allow you to use. So in this way, I can say, hey, this is something supported by Salesforce. You can download it. Works for the Mac. I mean, Salesforce is a massive Mac shop, so it's kind of...
It's also a client. Like, the execution of it is just from your desktop to Salesforce using a Salesforce tool.
Right.
As opposed to going through someone else's cloud.
Right, where you have to get the sign-offs and all that. So that is pretty cool. I'm going to pick one that I'm least excited about.
What is that?
I'm least excited about enabling feed post editing for Chatter.
Yeah. You know, I mentioned this in a very specific way, though. You didn't read my header exactly as I wrote it.
Enable feed post editing in custom profiles.
Right. I found it odd that there was no mention whatsoever about enabling this via a permission set.
That is weird. I would find it odd that you just reread your sentence that you wrote on air.
Yeah.
I find it kind of odd. The name of the speech
look at that.
calls out the fact that
I think the way I think and I write. I just thought that was weird that they mentioned this feature.
So let's just tell what the feature is.
You can edit feed posts and comments.
Oh,
it's something that had so many idea points. It was 24,000 some odd points as I wrote the article or as I wrote this blog.
Right. Clearly not an article.
It's not an article.
Not even close.
It's not a white paper. It's a blog post.
Yes.
That I edited.
It's 24,260.
So it even had more votes since I posted this, probably because I linked to it. Yeah, it was really popular, and that is one of those things where it's like, you have a misspelling or you say the wrong thing and you mean to mention somebody and it doesn't mention them. That happens all the time.
All the time.
And it's like, now I have to either delete that or mention them underneath or edit. Like, you can't edit it.
Right.
And it's annoying. So I see the reason why as someone who thinks about and cares about compliance and audit things, this is a nightmare. Think about being able to send an email and being like, whoops, let me just edit that.
Right.
Better now.
Well,
okay.
For us, the makers and lovers of Compliance Locker, who doesn't...
Let's just call that the makers.
The makers. Well,
we love it. We like it.
We love it. Like,
we're in like with it.
Like the kid who, like, not so smart. Like, you have three kids. You got, like, the brainy kid. You got the, like, sporty kid. And you kind of got the middle kid. It's kind of not brainy enough to be brainy, not sporty enough to be sporty. It's kind of like that kid. Like,
it's a functional kid.
Like, you're good, but you're not that good. And
functional.
You're a functional kid.
Full-featured.
Not even full-featured.
It's a robust
So
kid.
we built Compliance Locker a long time ago. People use it. It's free.
But forget that. Let's just talk about this feature.
The feature's fine. It's making my life miserable.
Feature, but it's a good feature.
It's a good feature. It's needed.
You should be able to edit a post.
It is.
It just stinks
Will they
from
turn
a
it? Will they turn it
compliance
on in the success community?
No.
Yeah, I don't think they will either. So that's not eating your own dog food. Like, you should turn it on.
You know what? I think they might, because people really, really asked for this.
Right.
The community asked for this. And I think a lot of people want it in that
If
community.
not, that'll be the next biggest idea is turn it
on in your community.
Yeah, I think they'd have
I think
to.
this is being enabled automatically, too. This is one of those, it's on, you got to go turn it off.
At the profile level.
Yeah, which is weird.
I don't think they can do that.
I feel like that's what I read, but maybe not.
Anyway, so there's two, and there's a bunch more that Mr. Edelstein here mentions. So head on over to blog.arkusinc.com and read Salesforce Summer 15 release rapid notes reaction.
Good job reading.
All right,
You're good at reading.
I'm moving on to the next article.
Okay.
Next up is why sales teams should be excited about Summer 15. So this is our way of just breaking things out into millions of little blog posts, including quick hits. So pick one of your why sales teams should be excited about Summer 15.
I think I'm going to pick the first quick hitter.
Oh, a quick hitter.
Yeah, because salespeople and people in general love notes. So while I, as an administrator and Salesforce consultant, am not super excited about another place to take notes, I am excited about the idea of notes getting better. So Salesforce Notes has been enhanced to allow for some rich text, bulleted lists, numbered lists, text formatting. I'm imagining this is that Notes app on the phone.
Yep.
Or the iPad, so in Salesforce One mobile. And I mean, notes and attachments just stink. They just can't go away because there's just so much data in there, I imagine. There needs to be a better way to take notes, and people taking notes in other offline places that aren't connected to their CRM data just doesn't make sense.
Right.
So any effort to make note-taking better or improved, I'm all for. And if you have to scrap the old paradigm and create something new to do it, I'm fine with that. I would like a little bit of we're moving over here, and here's a way to get there, like a little migration path, if you will. But that just doesn't happen with Salesforce. There's a new feature, and here it is. I do like this idea. I quiver at, seeing people take notes that are disconnected. So, I mean, we take notes in Google Docs, but we make very well sure to connect them. So they're connected via the notes and attachments, so you can always go over and look at them.
Right.
I see people taking notes on like Notepad or the thing on your Mac or Evernote, and they're just not connected, and that's just a lost opportunity.
Right. Well, I think, and this is one of the things that at the MVP Summit I was speaking to someone about. I was like, it's interesting that Salesforce wants to get into this market, because this market it's got a lot already in it. And I think once you've experienced true collaborative note-taking with a true collaborative, high-end, very good application, I feel like this is just getting in the game, but this won't be collaborative. You won't be two people editing the note at the same time. It's going to be rich text, so it'll allow for some things, in it. But I just feel like this is going to be one of those check-the-box things. But I could never personally see myself using it, because I want to be in a collaborative environment, and I want to have great search, and I want to have all this sort of stuff that I'm not sure this is going to bring. So I think this is like a checkbox, because people look at their current notes and go, they're terrible, and they are. And so this is going to be like, look, our notes aren't terrible anymore.
Yeah, but they're not collaborative.
Right.
They're not saying, Jason, you're at home and I'm here in the office and we're on a call and we're watching each other take notes like in a Google Doc. They're just improving the experience of taking notes on the go. I think their user story in their head is sales rep is in the field, goes to a meeting, walks out of the meeting, has a few ideas in their head, and he or she wants to just jot them down somewhere real quick.
Right. And this way, they're attached.
You do it. You're sitting in the cab on the way home, or you hop in your car, or you get in the subway.
Please, don't hop in your car and write notes.
Well, before you start moving.
Okay.
And
subway without Wi-Fi?
What subway you taking?
The ones without Wi-Fi.
Not my subways. Anyway, you can still jot them down. Just hit save later.
So says the man who doesn't know anything about this feature.
Save later.
Yeah, that exists.
Just leave it.
That just happens.
Leave it open. Just save it later.
Offline syncing.
That'll come at some point.
If Salesforce,
We'll get there at some point.
So mine is one that I can visualize, because I'm reading it's a sales feature. I can visualize, but I don't know how it's going to work until I can see it with my data. So it's the cumulative forecast roll-up. So what this means is, so this is getting into the people who, so if you're not into forecasting, please turn off the podcast. You've downloaded. Thank you very much. We don't need to listen anymore. So forecasting is a way of taking stages in Salesforce and putting them sort of into buckets. So you can have multiple stage into buckets, and then like commit and best case and prospecting. And then, so when you look at a forecast, they put the amounts into those buckets. So I can look at, we've got this much in commit and this much. So it's kind of almost simplifying stages, because you have 100 stages, no, say 100, let's say 20 stages, but then you have your 4 main categories of forecasting. And then there's a tool in Salesforce called forecasting, which allows you to see it in this really great view with the opportunities below, and you can drill in by team members and by month, and it's a very cool tool. It's actually one of my favorite tools. So whenever they're going to do something in forecasting, I'm both afraid and fearful and happy. This one is, so what is this? Cumulative forecast roll-up. So right now, if you have, let's say, 5 ops in close 1, those are in commit. And if you have 20 ops in 3 other categories that are prospecting, and another 10 ops in best case, they're all sit in their own buckets. This allows you to then say, well, I want the ones that are in prospecting and best case to roll up together. So when I look at that month, I'm seeing a combination of those two. So it's kind of thing, I can say the words are coming out of my mouth, but I can't see this in Salesforce until I see it with my data. Does that make sense? I'm kind of like, well, wait, what? Wait, when I look, like,
it sounds a little odd because they're already pared down so far into those forecast categories. Like you're talking about taking stages across multiple sales processes, which could be in the 20s and 30s.
Right.
And paring them down to 4.
Right.
So, like, why go?
Well, this allows you
more
to then
granular than 4.
Not more granular. You actually combine them.
So take 4 and turn them into 2.
Kinda.
It's not so exciting for me.
Well, it's
like I've already taken 30 and gotten to 4. That's good.
I think the idea is I want to look at, because when I look at a month, I might want to see the combination of that month, both the forecasting, both the prospecting and the best case in that month. And right now, it kind of breaks them out into the 2 different cells. So this is only for the forecasting geeks. There better be a forecasting geeks. More importantly, what would be good about forecasting would be to put it on Salesforce One Mobile.
Well, you can't run your company from your phone without forecasting.
And you can't do it on your phone.
I can't. I mean, I've been trying to run my company from my wrist for the last month, and it just isn't working.
Is that why the company's doing so bad?
It's doing so terrible. That's why we didn't podcast last week, because I couldn't schedule it from my wrist.
Right. Siri, schedule a
podcast with Jason
something.
whenever we're both free.
Oh, you wish.
3 a.m. We're podcasting.
This is 3 a.m. It's a good time to blogcast. Okay.
It's 3 a.m. somewhere.
I just said blogcast.
We're blogcasting.
Terrible. I am tired. All right, so let's go to our last one, which is not published yet, but has gone through the ringers, gotten the edits. So, and we definitely don't need to. Talk about the actual text. We can just pick a few of the features.
Yeah,
talk about this.
There's
one's
a couple
called
of big ones in here.
Salesforce Service Enhancements for Summer 15.
Service is getting some super
made
love
by a special someone here at Arkus who almost always gets to do the service. And
the same people write the same ones every time.
Except for me, and then
you don't get to write any of these.
No, I don't get to write these. I don't get to write the really easy, knock them out of the park.
We want
go
these
copy
to be
and
positive.
Paste. Copy and
we
paste.
Want these to come out in a positive light.
Copy and paste from the release notes. This is a tough blog post to write.
It's a tough one. This is a good one, though. The Service Cloud has gotten some serious upgrades and beef.
So go ahead. Give me your least favorite feature.
Actually, you know what? While this is like a beefy feature and a big time thing, I'm kind of ho-hum on it, which is the SOS
Okay, good.
video chat, because I don't think this is that big of a deal.
This is so real. The other day,
This is so not
no
a thing that people want. I think.
The other day we got a case for a Colonus user,
Yeah.
and it couldn't handle their custom validation rules.
Yeah.
And I just said, hit your SOS button
Inside of your app.
on the app, and let's do a live chat.
This isn't for CTU. This is not. They would never get to us.
But I'm saying I did this, and then we had a live video chat where I had them show me their screen
Wouldn't work.
of what.
Well, it can't work for us because we've built our app inside of Salesforce One, so we couldn't actually do that. I don't think. This is for like your company already has your own mobile app on iOS or Android. You've got a game. You've got a
Say Bejeweled.
whatever Bejeweled, sure.
Okay.
And you want
Madden
to
15.
include live support within that mobile device. So think live agent or chat on a website, but using the video and audio of the phone or device that you're sitting on to actually have a one-on-one conversation with an agent who's sitting there waiting for that to happen.
Question for you: have you ever had
No.
live one-on-one video chat with a support agent?
No. I don't have a thing that I don't even think I own anything that supports anything like that.
Well, you have a computer that has live video chat built
No,
into
not
it.
that. No, I mean I don't own a product whose
No,
company actually
the only
like
one
I don't
can
have
think
the
of is
Kindle.
the Kindle
I
Fire.
don't have that. So I
love
can't-
that commercial because every time I see it, and it's this good-looking redhead that picks up the phone, like it's always the same.
Well, they have
person.
this software on the other end that just masks the person who's talking,
And not that all
make it
support
look
reps-
like somebody else.
It's just
But
like
this to me,
I mean, do I have to shave if I'm
This-
going to support people?
this to me is not. It's really cool.
super cool.
It's super cool.
So negative.
It's definitely a big deal that they can do this with their platform. I don't think there's that much value add here. I don't think people want to do this. I might be so wrong on this, but I don't think people actually want to do this. And I'm not 100% sure service desks or I don't think they want their people doing this. They want them handling 6 things at one time, not one. This is a very one-on-one.
right.
This reeks of that demo that they always used to do like 4 years ago where they'd hack some FaceTime thing on a case. Like there'd be like a FaceTime button on a case and they'd click it and all of a sudden you'd be connected with somebody and they'd be like, oh, take the red wire and plug it in. They'd be like, oh, thanks so much. You solved my problem.
I couldn't have told you that over the phone.
Couldn't have told you over the
only
phone.
time is good
I
is when-
needed to see the TV to tell you that the red wire was not plugged into the wall.
The only way this is useful is disarming bombs. Then I really want them to take a
I want to
look.
pull out my mobile app. I want to open it up, and I want to hit the SOS button and say, I need to disable this thing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's very cool, and it goes hand in hand with what I hope you're going to talk about, which is the first feature that's written about.
Yeah, which is Omni Channel.
By the way, both of these are in beta.
Yeah. Omni Channel is one of those things that conceptually I get it. I've read the release notes. I think I've seen a demo of it. Maybe hashtag sorry Farber. And I love the concept around it. It's something I'd have to sort of figure out a little. Again, it feels like I have to get my hands on it to really understand. But the concept is that support agents no longer have to go look for work. Work can get pushed to them. So think of, and we're going to use the case analogy, but if you were in a high volume, actually a good analogy or user story for it would be in the loan world of mortgages and loans. there's a whole thing about the speed of which you can get back to the person who fills out the loan request information. So there's services out there that, they fill out the form on your website, it automatically sends it to a rep. The rep then can click on a button and call the person immediately and can talk to them, be like, hey, I just said if you want a $300,000 mortgage, let's talk, and that person usually can win the business. So this is sort of the ability to push it into someone's, push work into the person's realm while they're sitting inside of the console for them to work on. So again, cases are they're more pull. You kind of go, look, and there's a case, I'm going to take it. This is sort of saying push it into it. And it doesn't have to be cases. It can be anything in Salesforce.
Could be leads.
Could be leads.
Right.
So
it's very much like Live Agent is now. Live Agent is not as sophisticated, but you can hook obviously Live Agent into this Omni Channel routing.
Right.
But you say, I have, you're a user, you're associated to these skills, which are associated to certain buttons, and you have a certain bandwidth that you allow users to actually hit. Like, okay, they can have 4 chats going at one time.
Right.
So the chats come in and just go to whoever's online. It's very rudimentary. I have this skill. They clicked on that button. I'm online.
Right.
I get it.
You set as the rep.
I'm online.
Right. You say I'm online, and then the chats open up.
Yeah. Same thing here. This is I'm available for work.
Right.
And then whatever it is gets routed to you based on however the routing rules are
right
set up for certain data objects.
This one is something I've had the use case come up, and it's usually around leads and lead generation and lead handling. Just sort of they want to have that. They want to take the speed into it, so it's not just person looking for leads and pulling them as they see them in a queue, right? It's really taking all that away and saying, okay, now it's going to that person, they're getting the lead, and then they're going to work it immediately. Obviously, speed. Obviously, being in a console. Anyway, it's very cool. I think this should be how sales should work. I think all salespeople should be omni-channel and opportunities. They just go flying into them, and they just have to work them. Work the opportunity.
Do it. Work it. Done.
Yeah. Beta, so we'll see how it actually ends up being in reality.
Right.
But very cool. There's tons of stuff in service this time. Tons in service. So once it's published, go to blog.arkusinc.com and read the Salesforce Service Enhancements in Summer 15 blog post and read all about it.
You gonna mention that Apple thing that came out today?
What Apple thing came out today?
That thing where there's like a big bug in iMessage.
Oh, where if you get a certain message, the whole thing crashes?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Why would I?
Well, we just mentioned it.
No, that does not excite me. I will say next time, before we get on to our picks of the week, where you're going to continue picking things that apps on the watch.
That's a phone app.
Oh, it's a phone app?
Ow.
Good job.
That hurt. Yes, that's a phone app.
That's what you get. Next time, Google I/O is happening now, so there will be
when will now be?
Then,
when will then be now?
Then will be now soon. Soon. So Google I/O is happening this week. Actually, I logged into Google Analytics and it's like, follow Google I/O. Come on, schedule it. Watch the keynote.
Do it now.
So by next week, we should have a lot to talk about Google I/O, and then the following week is
Android ice cream cone.
The following week is WWDC. So there'll be a whole bunch of things, positive, fun things, and then we'll have a bunch of summer things to talk about because I think you said there's 2 more posts coming out.
Yeah.
So
so many things.
All right, that'll be next week. So let's get to our CloudFocus app pick of the week. What is your pick, Justin?
I'm picking the Activity app for iOS. So the Activity app, very much to my surprise, is really good. I guess I don't know why I'm that surprised, but it's really very well done. So I'm showing it to you. You can look in a calendar view here.
Is that an iPad mini you have it on?
Yes. Okay. So it tracks all your activity with the watch, and then you can visualize and see things on the phone.
Okay.
So as you can see today, I have my move goal, which I crushed.
Yes.
My exercise goal, which I crushed.
Yes.
My stand goal.
Have not crushed it yet, though.
Not yet, because I haven't stood for 12 hours yet today. Or
12 times.
Stood within the span of 12 different hours.
But you must have stood up 12. Oh, it's once per hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 minute per hour.
Okay.
So there were times where I was sitting for the whole hour. Workouts. So you can see I did a workout. It'll bring me over to the detail of that workout, which I tracked on my watch. Some awards. You get these awards. How many steps? How much distance have you traveled? So on and so forth for every day back until before I had the watch.
Nice.
Or I guess, when I first started using this. It's a really nice way, but it totally is exactly what I was hoping that the health app would have been. But I guess the health app is something completely different.
It's a way to collect
the
all the
activity
data.
app is what I really want. It's akin to your Argus application.
Argus.
So
Love it.
when you start using the watch to track workouts and things and then using activity, I think you'll see a nice little world coming together for yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to run them both together because I've almost been using Argus for a year now. Like I think June is my thing. So I'm going to run them together for a while just to see which one kind of shapes up. In fact, I think my Apple Watch got delivered today.
So this morning I went for a run with the phone and the watch. But
Right.
I've been told now by the watch that I've run enough, it's calibrated enough that I could run without the phone.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So next time I go for a run, I'm going to try it without the phone, and I'm going to run a distance that I know.
Right. We'll run one of the routes.
Like
that
an
we always
exact,
run.
I know this is exactly this much,
Right.
and we'll see what happens. Because it told me this morning, it's like, I'm good. I'm calibrated.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, it was like, it was like you have to run a certain amount of time with them together.
Okay.
I've done that already.
Yeah, I mean,
So I'm looking forward to my next run where I actually don't have to strap
your
my
phone.
iPod mini onto my
right.
arm.
Well, that's a ridiculous phone. You should never get a phone that big.
Well, when I hold your phone, it feels very tiny. It really does. It feels like, what is this toy?
It's the phone that I can keep in my pocket and not always.
My phone's in
constantly
my
take it out.
pocket right now.
Yeah, it's hurting you.
It just went
digging
into my
It's
pocket. Anyway,
digging into
activity
your-
for iOS, free,
but
Apple.
can only be used with a watch.
Don't know that. Don't have a clue. Don't care because I have a watch. How about that?
Wow, you are.
Yeah.
You're.
Yeah. That was my, I was about to say
know.
something inappropriate and I didn't.
You didn't. All right. I'm going to make a pick of something that I have not used, but I want to.
A
But
Justin pick?
I want you to go download this while we're talking so we can
Where
use
do
it
I
together.
download it? On
I'll tell you what it is
Well, just
first.
tell me where
Well,
I need
it's
to
right
download
here.
it.
You can go look at it.
Is it on my phone or is it on my computer?
Computer in Chrome. Chrome Store. Chrome
I
Store.
gotta do one of those?
Yes.
I don't do those.
Oh, well,
So
I
it's
do
an
this.
extension or
It's
something?
an extension, yeah. So it's been out. It came out like last week. It's called Google Tone. And it's the most simple use case ever.
Tone Loc?
Tone Loc. The use case is, and I don't even know how this could possibly work on the podcast because it might just mess up everything. But the use case is 3 or 4 of us are sitting in a room. We're looking at a website. Or I get in, I open up the notes for our website or for our Google Doc or something. And I'm like, oh, everybody needs to go to this URL.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well, how would you do that? Well, you send it around, you paste it, you chatter it, you whatever. So this is Google Tone. You just click on Google Tone. It sends out a tone that all the other web browsers go to it.
Okay. So I have it.
Okay.
It's there.
So close.
I just sent out a tone.
You just did?
I just did.
Oh, well, that doesn't. I'll try that again.
Tone couldn't hear itself.
Yeah,
I have to turn my volume on.
I'm sure so. Go for it.
Okay.
Try
so
it.
my volume's on.
All right, try it.
Try what?
Try hit.
Hit it?
Let me do it.
You do it.
All that.
You-
But I'm on
you
something
do
that
it.
you're on. So let me.
Well, no, I'm not on it. I'm
right.
on something else. What? Click. Oh, and the tab was already open. It didn't open it again. It just went to it.
So not bad.
Not too shabby.
So obviously the two of us, it's kind of interesting. But can you imagine like 5 people in a meeting? It's like, oh, what?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
It didn't do anything.
What do you mean? It didn't pop.
do
It should
anything.
pop some little toast up
No,
for you.
go ahead.
In Chrome.
Try
Are
it
you
again.
in Chrome?
I'm in Chrome. Oh, maybe I'm on the dock here. Let me go.
No, I'm in a different.
All right, go ahead.
URL.
Try it again. This is good podcasting.
This is terrible. It's not making the sound now.
Try it again.
It's not making the sound anymore. Let me refresh the tab or something. Oh man, I can already tell this is gonna suck my.
All right, I got one for you. Ready?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Oh, cool. That worked.
See, I think I got the magic. You ain't got the magic. So now I gotta
go
go
to like another web page or something.
Try not to be.
You know what? It's not. It's kind of like. Oh, there it goes.
It's not doing anything on my side.
Your side stinks.
Maybe. Oh wait, hold on. Maybe options. Maybe I don't know if I have settings on. I mean, it's weird. It's not. I don't know. It's not working on my side.
I don't like this.
It's only working from me to you. Nothing.
Maybe you got something screwy with your.
No, I'm recording a podcast on my computer. That's why.
Right. So it can't hear things.
It can't hear stuff. But anyway, pretty cool, right?
Pretty cool. I guess I'll leave it there for now until I decide that it's killing my battery.
I can tell you there's one person in this firm that if you show them this and they haven't already know about it, they're gonna
be like, yeah, I've been using that for a while.
Banana pants. If that person hasn't, you're gonna make it. Anyway, it's Google Tone. It's free. It works on Google Chrome. It's a simple thing. You click it, you hear what it sounds like, and then it tells the other browser to go there. I think it's pretty cool. There's a couple meetings we're in a month, and I was like, oh, this would be cool if we're all on the same page. Haha. All right, so that's it. That's it for the podcast. We're only 42 minutes in. We're good. Follow Justin at Just Edelstein. Follow me at Jason Matwitt. Follow Arkus at Arkus Inc. We're on the facebook.com/Arkus Inc. We're in the Success Community Group, which is a big group now. I think we're over 150 users in the community group. We're on LinkedIn, the Google+. Remember to please, please, please subscribe and review us in iTunes or Stitcher or both, because either way is good. We'll be back next week, although, we say that, and then who knows if we actually showed up. We did 2 podcasts this month, so, that's...
CloudFocus bi-weekly.
Until next week, Justin Jason saying, enjoy those cloudy days.